Hello, everyone, and welcome to Herorc. I'm Robert, and I'm back. Um, I've got Blue Boy here sitting. I've got everything taken care of on it so far. Um, the only thing I have to deal with is the shocks in the front. The way that front setup is set up, it doesn't work well with desert lizards. I mean, you've got the servo mounted on the frame, and from what I've seen, the best way servos work are from the axle, and you can get more flexion from your or more articulation from your shocks. But I've got everything going now. Everything's working, and she's sitting there looking pretty good as a tow truck, I think. Um, as you can see, I've got the desert lizards on it, but the way the front is set up, it just doesn't let the shocks in the front articulate the way they should. It's got this crossbar running across the front here that prevents it from articulating the way it should in the front, but the back is fine. The back does exactly what I want it to do. I mean, you see those wheels drop down and everything, and that's what you want, in my opinion, to grab the surface and do what it needs to do. I've got the winch working on it and everything, got it mounted and working, and I'm pretty pleased with it. Let me get a battery put in it, and I'll show you how it functions, which I should have did before I turned my camera on. I used that other camera I had, and it just doesn't, I don't know what's wrong with it. I was getting used to it, and then it's just started, it doesn't record everything. It drops stuff for some reason. It's kind of frustrating, but what can you do? The most frustrating thing about it is the money that I've spent on cameras, and come to find out, the phone is probably the best camera. And and I'm not gonna go out and spend $2,000 on a camera when I've got a $2,000 phone here that'll do everything I need it to do. So, like I said, you pay for what you get. Crank this puppy up. And I mean, I like the truck. I think most of the money on this truck was spent on, the body, because the electronics are just terrible. Yeah, they are just awful. The servo is mounted to where one side slides up under the frame, and then the other you bolt down. So I mean, it's like I said, it's what you pay. You pay for what you get, and I got this truck and a second truck for about $126, the way FMS has their program set up. When I first bought from FMS and went online to check my order, they asked me if I wanted to be affiliated, so I filled out everything that I need to fill out. And since then, every time I buy something, I get a commission. So basically, and then you get coupons, then you get points for signing on. And by the time I realized that, I had accumulated so many points that when I bought this truck, Blue Boy, and I bought Big Orange, I only paid like $126 for both of them. And plus got stuff on the side. Like I got extra grill for my mash again. And that, I don't know how they do it, but maybe they sell a bunch of airplanes. I don't know. But and then I've got money on my PayPal account that I've gotten from them from buying stuff. So I mean, it's not a lot. It's a few dollars, enough to buy maybe a set of wheels or something from them. But the point is that they have it set up to where, like I said, I only paid $126 for both cars, for both trucks. So you can't beat that. So I put a Fusion in it, in this truck, and it creeps like crazy. Look at that. Only a Fusion can creep like that, and plus get after it. You know what I'm saying? And then I've got the winch finally working the way I want it to. Says yeah, but I need that guide bar, that guide rail that goes on it, so I can let you see it work here. Let me see if I can set my camera so you can see what I'm doing here. Yeah, I recorded everything on the camera, and it dropped stuff. I don't know why. It didn't give me everything that I recorded. But as you can see, the winch is working just fine. Let me get the slack out of it. Then it'll pull it on back in. And this winch is from Enjora, by the way. Awesome winch. Can't complain about that. For about 30 bucks. And you see how I tighten up there? So I'm pretty pleased with the way it turned out for what I paid for it, you know. But I need to get a system set up for the front, the front axle, because their setup is designed to work with their shocks. You put Desert Lizards on it, it's going to raise it a little bit, which I can drop it a little bit more if I take some of the oil out of the shocks. And that would have it drop a little bit more, because you can see there's a space in between the shocks there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's shock and space in between there where I could probably drop them about another half-inch or so and lower the truck a little bit at the same time, and get some excellent function. The way I set it, the Desert Lizard stuff, is I put soft spring on the outside of the piston, so that when it drops, that extra space is from, well, I put the spring in between the piston and the, well, I put it on the piston. So there's nothing in behind the piston besides fluid. So if I take some of that fluid out, that will cause it to drop down a little bit more. I mean, but it would still drop and grab, you know, have the tires to grab. And the front would probably, well, I know they would. The front would function a little bit better, because as you can see, there's no articulation whatsoever in the front. It's, you know, they're a little bit on this side, but if I take the fluid, some of the fluid out, I'll get a little bit better articulation from it. But I love the way it looks. I mean, it's sitting a little high, and I can drop it down maybe a quarter of an inch. And but I like the way it looks right now. You know, other than the fact that I don't get any articulation in the front, the back works just fine. I get good articulation in the back. There's just nothing in the front. So, and that's because because of the setup in the front. It's the servo sitting on the chassis. So if I can get that servo to sit on the axle, then I'd get a lot better performance out of it, and that's going to take a little bit more work. But what I want to do first is I want to get it outside on my course and see how it works out there. It didn't do very good on the my little straight 8-foot articulation course on the inside, because for one thing, the tires, they suck. So I got to put some new tires on it. That's another thing. I'm going to put some BF Goodrichs on it, because they seem to work perfect for me, for what I want to do. And just go from there. Put some 2.2s on it, because these rims are 2.2 Trills, and I think they look pretty good on there. And the tires, I think, are about 120 millimeters. And on a Big O, the tires are 2.2. The wheels are 2.2s, but the tires are about I want to say about 140 millimeters, something like that. They're a lot taller than these. So, and it's funny how you can buy a 2.2 tire and it only be 120 millimeters. Now that's what these are. So that's pretty much it with it. I got the Fusion, the hitch working, 2.2 trills, the Desert Lizards. I haven't done anything to the I can't remember what you call those. But anyway, and I don't need to do anything to them. It's mainly the axle in the front. If I can get that figured out, oh my God, this thing would be a beast. But you know, I'll have to spend the money to get it done. Which, like I said, $126 for both of them. Can't beat that. So there's my baby sitting there looking pretty. I'm loving it. I mean, she's ready for action right now. Just need some tires. I wouldn't get the best performance out of it with those tires on it, and I don't even know where I got those tires, what they came off of. I want to say they probably came off of the Ecto, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, that's what I've got here so far. And it looks pretty good to me. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. People out there that's watching, there is much, 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 much more to come. So take care of yourselves so you can come back.